everybody, welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy and this is my corner of the internet all about cross stitch. I noticed that I've got really creepy eyes right now with the ring light. Oh, now it's like reflecting three different ways. Anyway, I hope that you've been well. I know I'm a bit late this time. This is episode 51 of my Flosstube, and it is the end of week 47, or excuse me, end of week 46 going into week 47 of my year of 50 starts. I got all my grades in, and we had our first big snowstorm Wednesday. So the kids' last day before the break was Tuesday, and the teachers were supposed to go in for half a day to finalize grades and do all that little piddly paperwork. And everything has to be finalized by December 5th. And there was a chance of like 40-mile-an-hour winds, gust. So they told us we could stay home to grade, and we didn't have to physically be at the building for the district, which was great because I think it's stupid that they make us come in anyway. Why? We can finalize grades on our computers at home just as well as we can sitting in an office or sitting in our co-lab space or our classroom. So, but I got to work from home on Wednesday, which was nice. I moved my dentist appointment up, got my grades in that day. I was able to bake cookies and pecan pie, really easy since I got to move everything around. So delicious pecan pie, peanut butter cookies with peanut butter chips in them for Thanksgiving, my husband's favorite. I will have to make gingerbread cookies for Christmas because it's traditional, but we like the soft gooey ones, not the ones you can turn into a gingerbread house. My class officially finishes up December 16th. I started one of the labs that I have to do. I got the materials for the other lab because I have to do two labs. They arrived on Friday. So I'll finish that up before our meeting on next Monday, so a week from tomorrow. And oh, by the way, it's November 30th. So then I signed up for two classes during the spring semester for college. One of them sounds like they're going to help me implement a 3D science unit. Like I get to create a unit. That's the class assignment, which will be super helpful. I don't have my November stats because I will be stitching after this, after I do a little bit of prep for tomorrow since the new trimester, and I'll have new kids. Some kids will be moved into a different class period. Some kids will be moved to a different science teacher. So I'll probably be doing my seating charts. I think that's what I'm going to make myself do, my grown-up stuff. I have to do a little bit of chores. But last time I meant to share with you why in the world did I pick the name Harpy Stitch. And then it completely spaced. My mind just went bloop, and I didn't even write it down when I was doing my notes. So Harpy. I know for a lot of people that is a not nice word used to refer to women sometimes, meaning you're a nag or bitchy and stuff like that. But I always liked Greek mythology. And at the dawn of the internet, we were watching Simpsons on a regular basis, and there was an episode where Marge and Homer go to a marriage counseling weekend, like you're supposed to go for the weekend and have some quality time with no kids and distractions, and then there's talk groups and to help improve their marriage. And there is a gentleman in there with his wife, not Marge and Homer, and he's in one of the group sessions, and he's like, yells at his wife, "You're the queen of the harpies!" And so that has actually been one of my earliest internet handles from like way back. Queen of the Harpies. I've been using it for years. And the reason I used it is, one, I like The Simpsons. Two, I like Greek mythology. And my husband actually called me that a couple of times as a joke. You may be, what? Why would you be okay with that? So we had some other friends that were couples in the early 90s that we were spending time with, playing D&D and stuff. And let's just say it was an ironic nickname because I was much less shrewish than the other wives, and I didn't yell at him all the time and everything. So as a joke, he started calling me Queen of the Harpies because I was the exact opposite of the Queen of the Harpies. Trust me, some of our friends' wives were really naggy, and yeah. When Twilight came out, we wanted to watch, one of the wives was obsessed with Twilight, and it is not my thing. If you like Twilight, good on you, happy enjoyment, but it was not my thing. And Mystery Science Theater, if you have not checked out Mystery Science Theater, you should, or Riff Tracks, whichever version you prefer. They sit in front of movies and they make fun of them. So we put on the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version of Twilight, and she literally threw a hissy fit. If you're not from the South, that means a temper tantrum in a grown person, specifically a woman. She like threatened to divorce her husband if we didn't turn it off because everyone was laughing. I've watched the riff tracks of Lord of the Rings and stuff that I love, and they're still funny. Although I admit with Lord of the Rings, I tend to tune out the guys making fun of the movie because I'm so focused on the movie itself. But yeah, so that is why I picked Harpy Stitch, because Harpy is a handle I've used online for many years. And it is a reminiscent of my early years with my husband and being the least shrewish wife of them all. So that's why I picked the name Harpy Stitch. And then my husband made me the cool logo. So let's get started. So I have one new start. So this is start number 49 of my 50 starts. I know, oh, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. I know I've actually started 4 more, my Shawshank samplers, but I'm not counting them towards my 50 starts. So technically I've started 53. So I am going to try to make this one. I'm new to embroidery. I got this at Michael's a few years back. And it's got the supplies to make this one and this one, the Pumpkin King. And they're supposed to both be beginner level. And this is iconic, so I'm starting with that one. And I did trace it with a water-soluble pencil. There is supposed to be a heart here, but I missed it because I turned it so it was right side. And I traced it on my window. So I've got the outline of Sally done, and I started on Jack's outline. And then I'm supposed to do a split stitch to fill them in. And then it says me do the hearts. I think I'm just going to leave that one heart off. I don't want to go fudge with it. So that is my first embroidery, straight up embroidery project that I've ever done. I guess technically my evening in the shower falls under, because there's a lot of back stitch and a lot of it's done with back stitch and straight stitch. So technically I guess, but it also has X's on it. So I count that as a cross stitch with embroidery, not the other way around. So it's just some yellow fabric, and then there's some, if you haven't done, I actually had to go get a new 6-inch hoop for this because I stole the one that was actually supposed to go. And then it has like this thicker backing fabric. I'm not even sure, like this is some sort of cotton, and this is like a really soft. That was the hardest thing, is that even though I stretched it out on the window and taped it down, the fabric was trying to move on me. So yeah, but yeah, drum tight. All right, so that is my first embroidery project. I have one more start. I was going to try to start it this weekend, but I really need to finish my last Shawshank sampler. I'm almost there though. He wanted it by Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving. There was no rush because it's not for a person, it's for him. But I'm going to try to finish this week. So next is Shawshank sampler. This is my 4th one since August. And as you can see, all I've got left is the border. I started this, when did I start this? On October 20th. And I slacked off a little bit. Part of it was just being busy with homework. Part of it is I really needed a break from it for a couple of days. So it is almost done. I just have the border. And I'm not quite halfway done with the border. So that will be what I'm trying to focus on today. I'm going to probably do something else too, because I just need a break. if you're wondering about this, I was working at Michael's. Somebody put canvases on one of the high walls for storage, and they put them up straight. So when you went to take one off, they started falling over, and I got hit by stretched canvas. Yay! So I'm hoping I don't do one of those for a while. I am going to try to get another one started and then just do like a letter a day. That's not much, or a strand a day. And then hopefully by the next time I get an order, it'll be mostly done, and then I don't have to give up my projects. All right, next is What Lies Beneath. And yes, I know my picture here is a bit wrinkly because it's been in the bag. So this is Charting Creations. The art is by Dakota Detweiler. I am still in this upper left-hand corner. I have reached my 2025 stitches for my fandom 25 for 2025 challenge. And I have started to get into this lighter color. These two little stars are done. It really just looks like a blue blob at this point. I started this on May 20th of this year. It is on 32 count linen or even weave. I don't know which one it is for sure. It's not perfectly, but it's really thicker than most linens. I don't know what it is, but I am over 2,000 stitches in, and I was mostly up here, but I focused on this. I used this for everything until I hit my 2025. This was new. This is new. But look at those beautiful colors and how it fades into each other. This is the top of that first little swirl in the corner. So very excited, even though it just looks like a blue blob. My husband's like, yeah, I guess that's nice, but I don't know what that is. I can't tell. Which, it's true, you can't really tell what it is. It's just a bunch of blue. But there it is. All right. So, I actually got to work on some stuff for fun this week. All right, let's look at my next one. This is A Witch's Welcome by Annie Craft from Dirty Annie's. This is out of the Just Cross Stitching October 2023. That's what it will look like. Actually, I'm keeping that in there because my copy is not the greatest, so I keep it in there in case I need to refer to it. So I am doing this on 14 count antique lace by Seraphim. Here is the whole thing. That is a beautiful fabric. It is 1/2. And since you last saw it, I got the entirety of the word welcome in, the little skulls, and a little bit of the green and some of the border. This is another one that is on my list to get my 2025 stitches in before the end of the year. I've gotten 14 out of the 35, or 25, I can't count, which is bad when you cross stitch. So I have 11 more that I need to finish the 2025. So that's kind of going to be my focus the next couple of weeks. Whenever I pick something up, I'm going to pick a project and work on it until I got my 2025 stitches for the year, and then move on to the next one. And for the weekly challenges, as much as I can, I'm going to be filling in. That's what I did. I did all but one of my weekly challenges this week, because you can double dip for What Lies Beneath. To get up to my 2025 stitches. Next is Old World Map. I worked on this for a weekly challenge. So this is Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't have an artist. I think it's too old. They copyrighted this in 2008, but they didn't credit an artist. I think it's an old piece. And not much you can see. You can see a little bit of the tree. This is going to be the cherub that's chilling out in the tree, in the corner with his leg wrapped around in the very top corner. But I'm starting to be able to see the cherub, and I stretched down there. So it's still, I got to go in and do all got a lot of confetti and ninja stitches hiding in there. And I admit sometimes I don't want to do those. That one is, I started it on March 15th of this year. Oh, and I started Witch's Welcome on May 9th. It was part of Mania. This was, I'm doing that 1/1. and it's on 25 count Lugana. So, and here, I'm going to brighten up my light just a smidge. It's auto-correcting again. All right, next is Wisdom Stocking by Haid. Jerry Gerhardt is the artist. It will be a Ravenclaw crest as a stocking. I started this on August 11th, 2021. I think this is my oldest whip, and it's on 25 count Lugana. I'm doing it 2/1, which is one of the reasons it's taking me so long. But you can start to see the bigger raven's beak there, and this will be part of its mouth. And so I did make some progress. This is one of the ones that I was focusing on for my WhipGo. I am way behind on WhipGo. I still have stuff to do from October. I have one more day from like August or something to do on this one. So once I finish my 25 for 2025, I will probably try over Christmas break to get these in. It's not a big deal. I didn't even set up a prize for if I completed my WhipGo. I was trying it out this year. I don't really have a way to reward myself with WhipGo. I think I'm gonna do it again next year. With my starting 2 classes on January 12th, I'm probably not going to be doing fandom this year. I think I'm going to do Wanderlust and WhipGo so I can focus on a few projects, because I am right now not planning on any new starts next year. I have plenty of whips at this point for every mood. All right, Letters from Hogwarts. This fit a few of my weekly prompts since I saw you last. And there was a couple of days I just had to do something different. And I moved towards the center into the first section of the story, and this will be the Gryffindor banner that they hang up for Quidditch games. So just the Gryffindor banner. That's where I'm working. This is from Cunning Crossstitch. It was free. Stitch your own adventure. He has taken it down due to pressure from others. I don't have any guilt about doing this because it is not official product, and she who shall not be named will get no funds from it. Plus it was free. And I got it right before he pulled it down. So I started that on August 24th this year of 2023. It is on 32 count Belfast linen, Belfast stone gray linen, and it is 2/2. I used it for a couple of prompts, and yeah, I trying to make sure that I take some time to relax between when this class ends and my new classes start. And Wanderlust is not competitive, so it's just kind of stitched through the countries at your own pace, which is perfect with all the schoolwork that I'm gonna have to do. I might adjust my WhipGo down to 1 day, because I didn't do a number of stitches. Because with my work schedule being different, you know, and doing extra shifts on top of my full-time job and needing to grade, I didn't want to do a set number of stitches, because some days I might only get 30 minutes, and so it was more flexible just to say days. So I think I'm going to stick with WhipGo and Wanderlust next year. That's at least my current plan. I'm hoping maybe to get at least one more finish before the end of the year, but we shall see. All right, now this next one is Evening in the Shire by Maria Brovko, or Cute Patterns by Maria. I started this, it was my birthday start, but I started it on the 19th of April instead of the 20th because I was too excited. It is on Malachite by Fiber on a Whim, and it is only 6 colors. And it is 2/2. So I finished all these clouds up here. I got in this tree, some back stitching of the roof and part of the grass that's on top. I got some back stitching in around here since you saw it last. I did have to go in and adjust a bunch of this and redo it because it wasn't in the right place. And then I was able to get in some more of this gray down here and the other lamp. This one I find I have to go really slow, because I have to be very careful to get the back stitching and stuff in the right spot, because so much of it is back stitching. I have to work off the other back stitches. I was nervous about counting down that far since I'm doing it 2/2, But I think it's looking great. And I cannot wait, but I have to take my time with this when I'm doing the parts that are the back stitch and making sure I do everything right so that it shows, because if I get off, then everything else is going to be off and it won't look like a Hobbit house anymore. But I think it's looking really nice. I also got to work on Dead Outlaw by Night Spirit Studio. I am really sad that Sage isn't going to be able to make us any more beautiful patterns, and I'm sad for all of her family and friends. She is actually somebody I would have liked to have met, but I didn't get that chance, and that makes me sad too, because everything I hear about her, she was super nice and kind and supportive. But I did get to work on this partly to honor her. I wish I could have met her. So I got in basically a lot of the black. I finished off his vest, got his spine all the way in, a little bit more on this jaw area up here, and then I filled in a bunch of his duster. So I can't wait to get him done and then get him framed and get him in the Dead Outlaw female framed so that I can put them up next to each other on my wall. So there he is. That is on 14 count pecan by Fabric Flair. I started this on March 25th and I'm doing it 2/1. All right, 2 more projects. I forgot to write down plans and haul, but I don't really have much haul. I did put in about 200 stitches on my Dragons of the Sabbat. I started this on January 1st of this year. I wasn't able to do this by Jade the 310 Stitcher. I've also been catching up with Alara, doing hers as well, because she is following Jade's doing all black. I am dumping the black, and I got this Creationist blue fabric from, excuse me, I got a hair stuck on my mouth, from Fabric Flair. It is Creationist blue. It's 25 count. I'm doing it 1/1. There are 90 colors, and it is a lot of ninja stitches and stuff in this pentagram in the center, and that takes a long time to fill in. So right now when I work on it, it is a lot of that, and so it's really slow going to get my 200 stitches for a prompt. But I did get 200, and it's starting to fill. I'm filling it in, and it's looking better all the time. Look at him. Very cool. All right. So that is this. Now, the next one is my round robin piece. I got my first piece from one of the people in my round robin, Cindy. It's funny, we all ended up picking different ink circles, I think because we were picking, we wanted something of a certain size and a lot of the smaller ink circles. So she chose Blue Morpho, and that is what it's supposed to look like. And she did not go with those colors. She did put some blue in it, but for the vines, she chose green, 790 DMC. So the butterfly is hers, all this is hers. I started this Friday, and this is mine. So she did the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm gonna go do all the outlines because she said we are free to change the blue of the butterflies around if we wish. And then we were trying to figure out where we should put our initials, because the idea is that each person will put their initials in the quadrant that they stitched so that you have a record of who stitched it with you. But yes, so that is Blue Morpho, and it's not a huge piece, and I'm really looking forward to getting it done. And getting my next one from my next partner in crime for the round robin. We also had snow all day yesterday, so it's really bright white outside, and the temperature changes have been messing with my sinuses. So that's all my stitching, my plans. I've already kind of mentioned I want to finish up the 11 projects that still need some for their 2025. That is going to be my focus for the rest of the year. Doing my weekly prompts will only get me, let's see, 1,200 stitches every week. So I need about 14,000 more stitches, so I'll have to stitch more than that. At work we should be doing a reset for the first week, so there won't be as much grading. Night school's going good, so but there's no grading for that except for during night school, and I use it to grade or plan for the next day kind of things, so that'll be built in. I do plan either next week or the following week to do a de-stash video. I have a bunch of vintage pattern books. Somebody gave me some old school stamp cross stitch kits, which are embroidery actually, and it's like the blue lines on the fabric and then you wash them out when you're done. Not the modern day stamp kits. When you say stamped cross stitch, I think the blue stuff where it's all blue. So I'll probably have some of those. I have an Etsy shop, but God, their fees are so high and eBay's fees are so high. I think I'm just gonna do a thing, and if you want it, you let me know and you message me, and you can just send me an email saying I want that book or whatever, and we'll negotiate a price. You pay the shipping. I just need to downsize some of my stuff that I know I'm never gonna stitch. So that's coming up for the channel. I will do a end of the year whip parade right before December, or during December sometime, because tomorrow's the 1st. It will have more editing than this usually does, since it will be much, much longer. But I have to go back to the giveaway of last time. Thank you for being patient. And I forgot to say at the beginning, welcome or welcome back. Please hang out with me for a bit, or come back next week and hang out. So my giveaway, just in case you forgot, I won the Earth Laughs by Brenda Gervais at Frogwarts, and it is not my style. It is beautiful, but just not something I wish to stitch. So I put it up as a giveaway for my 50th, to celebrate my 50th episode. I can't talk today. I don't know. Actually, I just spent 4 hours talking and helping people find stuff for Christmas, and I'm pooped. But I really wanted to film. I wanted to film last week, but there was just too much to do with the end of the try coming. So I used a random comment picker, and the winner is I'd Rather Be Stitching tomorrow. Congratulations. I know you are a regular viewer, and just send me an email or contact me on Instagram, and I'll get your address and I'll send that out to you as soon as I can. Congrats. I have a few things that I'm not going to put in my de-stash video that will be future giveaways. I'm still just sitting at like 267. We're over halfway to 500, so we're getting there. Again, if you enjoy what I have to share, like, comment, subscribe. I really would love some more comments and interact with people, get to know people. All right, so I mentioned Jade and Alara because they're both doing Dragons of Sabbat. Please, Mad Morty, down the rabbit hole, Jen down the rabbit hole. I have my favorites. They'll be listed below. But I have a couple of people that I watched recently that I hadn't really watched before, or I had watched one video. I know some people watch one video and move on. I find that, one video could just be a fluke, their energy levels off or whatever. So I like to watch a few. I've gotten caught up with Garrett, the Coffee Stitcher. He does felt projects as well as cross stitch. If I remember correctly, he lives in Texas. I do not envy him the heat there at all. He has a lot of Wizard of Oz projects. He really likes musicals. He's very energetic. One of the things that I learned from him is he gave me an idea for finishing. He does what's called canvas finishing, and I had never heard of that before. And he takes one of those pre-prepped stretch canvases for like painting, and you just wrap your cross stitch around it and staple it into the frame that's used for the canvas, and it's a quick and dirty finish, and then you can hang it up. And then if you decide you want to frame it in a different way, it's easy to pull the staples out of the back. Yes, kitty. And you can put it in a different location. Okay, you're going to come up here? All right. Okay, I guess it's cuddle time. So that was a really neat idea that I hadn't thought of before, and what an easy way to finish stuff and get it up on your walls if you can't afford to have it professionally framed, which I cannot. So, oh, are you done? Did I not hold you the right way? Whatever. He's such a weirdo. But that was Dwemer, the cat that is mischievous frequently. Now he's making biscuits on my coat. All right, and then Crafty Emily. I had watched her a little bit, and I went back and watched some more. She is very down to earth. Sorry, I've got a needle that I need to fix so that he can't think it's a bug and take off with it, because he thinks they're bugs. Although sometimes it's, don't you mess with the stack of my stitching, especially not that project. That's not even mine. Psh, psh, psh. Hey, no. Crafty Emily, she's very down to earth. Her passion's clear. I know she has a business, but I like the fact that she doesn't really spend half of her video plugging her things that she sells that are related to cross stitch. There are a few floss tubers that do that, and it really irritates me. It's like, you're just making a commercial. I don't want to watch a commercial. But Emily doesn't give that vibe. She does give away something every video, which is kind of cool. She makes needle minders and stuff, so it's not, she doesn't never mention her business, but she's not there like just pushing her business. She's mostly there to share her craft with you and her projects with you, and she's got some really great projects. So if you haven't checked her out, I think most people know who she is. Feel free to do so. All right, let's see, what else do I got for you today? Oh, I do have a little bit of haul. The only haul I got since I saw you last was my Christmas ornament, just cross stitch. So I'm going to turn to the back page. There were just a few things that I really liked. I think these animal ornaments right here are super silly and fun. I really like this Santa Claus. He's goofy looking. Anything with penguins is awesome. And then I like the fact that they included a Kwanzaa ornament. And then what was the other one? Oh, yes. There is this fox and this owl. Those are all really cool. And this Biscornu set, although I've never made a Biscornu. I should probably try that someday. But yeah, there was just a few cute... Oh, I almost forgot. The dinosaur. I like dinosaurs. That's all the cross stitching I've got for you this week. Reading, watching, we watched a movie called Begonia. It was really good. This guy kidnaps this lady he thinks is an alien and blames for his mom's death in medical, well, not her death, but her injuries in medical care. And yeah, it's a very interesting, good movie. Been listening to The Wandering Inn. I finished the first book. The first book was 48 hours long on audio. The second book is like 68 hours. So I think it'll take me a whole year to get through all the audiobooks because it's like on audiobook number 17. Really fun. It started out as a web series by Pirate Abba. What else have we been watching? Still rewatching Stargate. I'm excited because there's a new Stargate coming from the original show creators. So hopefully that will continue to happen. I think that's all I got for you this week. I hope you have a great stitchy week and that you stay safe. And so long, and thanks for all the stitch. Bye.